Hi everyone, this is Sarah and I am on a character design challenge, and this challenge is a bit tricky because if I don't get hired in this 30 days, I have to do another 30 days and I am not gonna stop until I get hired. And what I do is to be efficient in my practices, because before I got into this challenge, I would just be in the preparation mode forever and never get into doing it and never get into actually practicing. So I am that type of a creative person who's really gonna put it off until the last moment, and that's not what I want to happen. So I went on a challenge and I wanted to challenge myself to make this 30 days come true, because if I do that, I think that quantity is really important when it comes to practicing. Otherwise, you're just gonna be spending all of your time on one painting, and that painting is gonna be probably great, but what happens is that you didn't really practice the fundamentals there. You just made your intention to just finish that painting and add so many details to it, add so much beautiful colors to it, but you didn't really get into the fundamentals of it. And that's what I'm scared of. If I do not challenge myself to be quick about it and quickly just practice it and practice ideation, practice, coming up with the concept of the story that my characters are gonna sell, and all of those things are just so important. I have to be focusing on multiple elements of my character design at the same time, and that's so very important. I would love to get hired at some point, and I have received an email telling me that they're interested in hiring me, and I'm so grateful that they emailed me, because I kind of have this pressure of, what if I don't get hired by the end of this 30 days, and then I'm just doomed, and that's what I publicly said, and I can't just take it back. And that was very terrifying to me. So the fact that that person emailed me and said that they are interested in hiring me, I was so happy, and I emailed back that I am interested too. I'm excited to work with you, and I'm just waiting for them to respond. So still not sure, so I can't drop this challenge and say, yeah, they hired me. No, I have to actually receive a very sure and solid acceptance in order to drop this challenge, and that's what I am after. I have so many other ideas. So the problem with me is that I have ideas at the same time. If I do one thing, if I go explore one idea, other ideas are gonna attack me. It's okay guys, I'm gonna get to you too, and you just need to give me time. But they don't understand, those ideas are just manic ideas. And as a creative person, you have all of those activities that you want to do, and it's just not art. For me specifically, it's not just art. I do other stuff at the same time, because if I don't do those things, I feel like I'm not really being creative enough. I do a bit of writing. I do a bit of writing poems sometimes. I do read, and that is really important. If I don't read, it's I don't know, a part of me is lost. And in this challenge, the most challenging part of it was that I didn't have much time to use it for reading. And that is what I am kind of scared, because my reading is tied to my creativity as well. So reading and creativity they just have this bond together. If I'm creative, it's because I took my time to actually read and inform myself, kind of trying to cram as much information into my brain as possible. But there's another idea, which is you have to be minimal in your intakes when it comes to taking in things into your brain. That's also another option, but minimalism doesn't apply to me when it comes to being creative. I have to have a lot of things, but maybe for me it's that my consumption is minimized to just books. If I were to give you an example of minimalism in my case, and that's also very important, because if you're consuming a lot of short form videos, I think that's just not going to be good for your brain. Your attention span is the most important aspect of creativity. It's the most important part of being a creative person is having a great attention span, and that's important, and you have to take care of it. So I think that it's important for you to have a very anti-distractive and solid way of consuming information. A book is the best way of consuming information, because there's so many written words in it, and that forces you to be focused, because otherwise you're not going to be able to read or understand any of it. That's a form of exercise for your brain. You're exercising your mind to be focused, I would suggest that you can also play word games. I love that too, and like wordables, and also Sudoku. I don't know how to say it actually. Sudoku? Is it Sudoku? I have no idea how to pronounce that, but kind of like mind games that are so useful for our focus. And also, you could take care of your brain in another way, which is like by the means of nutrition and taking in enough vitamins every day. And that's also another part of it that might be causing the lack of ideas. And you can see how I got from art to nutrition. It's like, what does that have to do with art? But there's so many things that are so connected to each other, like everything in our lives. Like if you do one thing, it's gonna lead to another. And if you look back, you can see how that one tiny little act is starting this domino effect that is just ruining everything else. And to refer to something that we just mentioned, creativity does require a lot of minimalism in your activities, because when you're trying to be creative, it's not so much that you're productive, it's more so that you're coming up with ideas faster. And my routine is not really that strict. I don't want to be working all the time. I don't want to be like drawing all the time. I take my time, I rest, and resting is really important, which is not available to me in this challenge. But resting has always been a very good tool to reflect back on something that I just consumed, and then it just clicks, like inside of your mind, it just clicks, and that is the beginning of creativity. And I think that taking some time off and going for a walk, especially for a walk, like walking is really important, and exercising and like doing all sorts of stuff that is around movement, it's critical because it's beneficial for our brain. And yeah, that was today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I can see you tomorrow. Have a good day and stay creative.